Howdy, howdy. How are y'all doing? Wow. So, the things that I traversed today was about like resistance, and it's like we're definitely getting hit by, in such a loving way, a huge influx of light energy in these moments. And it's like I woke up sensing that this was impending, and many clear and easy to understand and obvious signs showed up to bring that into my conscious awareness. And so, as I'm looking into the nature of my resistance, so I can just get out of my own way, activate my own source coding in these new energies as I'm dancing. I'm seeing myself like in my quantum space, so I'm looking into what is causing the disturbance in my energy field in the quantum space that shows up in my behaviors as like triggered behavior. And part of that trigger, part of the resistance is like, so we know the new is coming in, and it's like coming in, and old things, old patterns, they die hard. And it's like, as I'm looking at what I'm attempting to hold on to, trying to take with me, it's like, what? It's like that very act of thinking that any of these old patterns that my journey has had, so that could look like codependency, that could look like running and jumping into bed with someone without really getting to know them, that could look like trying to hang on to a career that just isn't where the energies are flowing and taking me. And many of the 3D elements, like cars, like transportation, like money, like even the idea of running the matrix hamster wheel, it's like those things are beginning to in my physical space, like it's clearing out the quantum field. And so those triggers that would once trigger me to go into fear if I'm traveling down the road, and then suddenly there's a cop, it's like I see that, and it's just like I feel the disturbance that they're emanating. I'm just like, that's interesting, lots of love, and then I just go on my way. So yeah, that was kind of a tangent there. Going back into like what I'm seeing in the quantum field. So it's like I see the quantum signature of the trigger, and it looks similar to the scientific model of an atom. So there's like this core of light, and it's being distorted, and all around it's just like where there would be the electrons, it's just like all fuzzy, and that's distorting what the light that's coming through. And so one thing that I knew early on in uh, my initial awakening stages into my gifts was that there doesn't necessarily have to be a process over everything. You know, you can get lost in the details that way or whatever. But basically, it's like, you know, I don't want to take any shortcuts, but there sure has to be an easy way to do it because, I, you know, I grew up with that old saying about, oh, life is supposed to be hard and it's just not worth living if it's easy. You know, that old program. So, you know, take that for example. What that would trigger into the mind of a child who's used to playing in innocence, and there's like no limitations in that. Oh, so it has to be hard. Yeah, it does not compute, and so it's like going into that. So that's what's distorted the light in this particular trigger of resistance of, you know, things flowing easily and divine timing snapping into place and dramatic shifts occurring uh, without any conscious effort or direction. It's like clearing that distortion out of the way enables me to see that light clearly and activate that within my own energy field. So um, I'm just giving myself a moment to feel that energy coursing through my body. So that just cleared as I was talking about it. And for anyone who is just like, I've just been going over this over and over and over again, consider the possibility that, quantumly speaking, what is keeping you going around that hamster wheel is just simply riding the waves of the distortion rather than focusing on the light that's within that particular energy structure that particular rolling around of the marble in the box, so to speak. That whole thing, that whole cycle, that whole chain. Um, Once you catch yourself going into that tailspin and choose to focus on the light of the situation, that's where you can shift that distortion out of the way so you can experience that light in that space within yourself in a pure way and get that energy flowing like it was divinely originally intended to flow. And yeah, that's another really really amazing, awe-inspiring aspect of this point of the journey too is just feeling the smooth and steady and warm and nurturing flow of these energies coming in. Uh, I can report that, you know, physically speaking, it's like I have hardly any energy to go do anything. Um, and that's okay. I mean, my work schedule's been really light, and beyond that, it's just like I know that this is all just divine timing unfolding. It's like I need this time to rest and integrate these energies and get comfortable writing these flows. Very comfortable. You know, it's like climbing into a hot spring, really. And Where we're going is, like, we're not even in fucking Kansas right now, okay? We're not in Kansas. We're not in Oz. We just, like, skyrocketed past that, and wherever it is that we're heading, it is the expression of the love that each and every one of us has poured into the restoration of this planet, this whole galaxy, this whole universe, from the ravages of war, from the ravages of using our most powerful sacred gifts in ways that, well, it's in ways that our creator didn't intend, yet at the same time, it's like, now we know what happens when we do that thing, you know? And, all the toys, okay, that whole thing gets to go too. Okay, there we go. There we go. Hi. Yes. Yes, it's okay. You have so much to share and so many people you want to go out and meet and help. You are so loved. There. There. Now you can see your own brilliance. You don't have to feel like you have to push what you have to say. Love you. You are valid. Activate source code. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You want to go say hi? Here's Licky Lou. So cute. And there is the light in the quantum field. And so the distortion is actually a suppression of the sacred masculine. He's wise and knowledgeable, and the sacred feminine on the matching, connecting, unifying wavelength of this, it's like the high priestess energy. She's knowledgeable about what she does, and at some point they lost confidence in one another's ability to disseminate and pass on their knowledge, their wisdom, even their experience. So this is talking about like the transmittal of information through the DNA. And this is where they rediscover that, like, the sapiosexualism within one another. It's the reconnection of attraction. So this is physically speaking, reconnection of being attracted to somebody based upon their personality, their intelligence, their authenticity, and their ability to sheerly be themselves. And the distortion is cleared. Activate source coding. So what can you do for yourselves in these moments that help you connect in more clearly with those parts of yourself that may flat out be struggling to assimilate and integrate these new energies, or otherwise are wanting to play and dance with toys that are being put back into the box, and it really is time for them to go back into the box as a whole new playtime is opening up that acknowledges where the child has been throughout the child's journey, yet presents life as being the graceful, easy, unifying flow that operating from innocence and purity and the sheer joy that all children embody. Activate source coding. Yes. Rest. Lots of water. And some laughs. Those are a few ways that we can nurture and care for ourselves over these next few days. Yeah, the rough ride is beginning to smooth out. The turbulence is smoothing out as more and more people are consciously choosing to surrender to the flow of divine will and divine intent and divine timing unfolding, as well as finding that peace and that sanctity, so the restoration of sacredness within themselves. And this is entering more and more into the consciousness grids, the mind of humanity, as well as all the kingdoms represented here on this beautiful, beautiful world. Thanks again so much for all the love and support and the statements of validation. I feel like wherever that I am flowing to, these starting points within operating within the new earth structures, man, lots of strength, lots of courage, lots of acknowledgement, as well as like what I'm actually doing on the cellular level as my contribution to the teamwork here. And perhaps this is a perspective that each of us would benefit from focusing a little bit more time on to bring that awareness online, is focusing on that bigger picture of what we're doing for one another as we begin to transition in earnest into physically experiencing the new earth. I love you all so much. There'll be no new video out here shortly, I'm sure. Have a good night or day.